You guys are on something that is just my absolute obsession right now. And you make a very bold claim in your new book. You said that the next billion-dollar company will be founded by 3 people. How is that possible?
First of all, I'll just say that we're living in a different day and age. The ability to, Salim?
Yeah, if you look back in history, maybe 50, 70 years ago, it needed about a 10,000 person company to create $1 billion valuation.
That's crazy.
Right? Then it dropped to about 1,000 people. Instagram was 13 people. Right? Now we'll get it down to 3 people because AI will handle most of the execution work. You'll have a CEO who will drive vision and product, a product guy who will focus just on getting things done, and an operations person that'll handle everything else. And you should just have AI bots doing all the finances, marketing, et cetera, et cetera.
Be able to use this. And so as somebody making a video game and somebody thinking about IP, the real thing you have to get good at is getting people to care. And so it's that Disney has gotten people to care about their characters. So when you think about AI making the creation of art instantaneous, because a big part of what made art cool before was the sense of I couldn't do that. And so when somebody presents you with something that you couldn't do, you're like, whoa, that's so cool. And you have this like really emotional response. Now I'm like, I could do that. Or I might even be able to do something better than that, right? So now it's like when I see just a wall of AI art, my brain still goes to the characters I care about.
Right.
So my thing is, in a world where we are going to get disrupted incredibly fast, in a world where now the game really is about making people care, how do people break through the noise? And maybe even more specifically, how do you stay emotionally sober long enough to try to break through the noise?
So no matter what the tool set is or what the capabilities are, your emotional connection to that and the passion you bring to it is the thing that will separate you out from everybody else. Because somebody else has to come at it with exactly enough the same passion and have access to the same tools. And that's what will win out. That'll be the steadying ship for how do you navigate this chaotic world, is what fundamental problem do I get excited about? And I'm just going to go after that problem and stick with it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Tom. The idea of an exponential org, what we lay out is the number one thing that a entrepreneur or a more advanced company needs to do is establish that MTP, that massive transformative purpose. And once that's established, then there's a whole slew of 10 different attributes that allow you to scale and allow you to build something. But in a world where there's this abundance of opportunity, right, where we're drowning in opportunity and your attention is your most important asset here that you're going to gift a company, being connected to that company's MTP, right? So, when Elon gets up on stage and says, we're going to build a multiplanetary species, we're going to Mars, we're going to help save the human race and so forth, people connect in their heart and their mind to that. If some company stands up and says, we're going to provide better shareholder returns, I mean, it's just noise.
The prediction that I will make is that AI will make things better for the masses in ways we just cannot fathom, and it will be absolutely incredible. But it does not care about the individual at all. And so while the consumer will win, I'll be very interested to see what happens to people building businesses, because they will just come and go. Yeah. They will get disrupted so fast that it will begin to ask a new question of entrepreneurs, which is, can you dedicate your life's energy to something you know will be obliterated in 3 years?
So yes, we are heading towards this massive world of abundance, right? Where the best education, the best healthcare is provided by an AI effectively for the cost of electricity, right? So it's going towards zero. But would anybody go to medical school anymore? And by the way, it's going to become malpractice to diagnose someone without AI as your co-pilot, probably within the next 5 years, if not sooner.
Chills. That's
right?
crazy.
So we're talking about a future in which AI is able to iterate on hardware and software so rapidly that if you announce a new product or a service, someone else has cracked it, replicated it, and provided a better version of it, minutes later. So what happens when intellectual property is useless? Because I don't want to protect myself by having IP rights. I want to protect myself by having the best product available. Things are getting very much faster and better, but it's gonna change the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go take your analogy, then any product or service you build may be rendered obsolete pretty quickly, right? Then you lift above that to go, okay, then what's the narrative or story or framing you put around that? That's a little bit longer lasting. And
little
above
bit.
that are the mindsets, right? If you have the right mindset, then you don't care if your MTP is curing cancer and somebody gets there a little before you. You're like, yeah, somebody got there. Fantastic. We cured cancer. Awesome. Pick another MTP and keep going.
I don't think that's going to be the human response.
It's the ego doesn't want that.
Somebody asks you, well, wait a second. Okay, a world of abundance, it sounds amazing, but isn't that going to damage GDP? And you said, yes, it's going to tank GDP.
Yeah.
For those that don't know what that is, basically the economy. So
global,
abundance,
yes.
the thing that we want, is going to tank the global economy. Should we not be terrified?
Well, it's just one of these transitions. One way I frame it is this next 30 years will dictate the next 300 years.
But
right?
is it
We're
going to
one
be
of those
a bloodbath?
inflection-
Like, is this going to be a 30 years of just terror in the streets, running and
as
screaming?
Peter will tell you, abundance doesn't mean unicorns and flowers and thing. It means opportunity for all.
I say abundance is not about a life of luxury for everybody. It's about a life of possibility.
Interesting. Whoa. Humanly possible. And I know that people have a lot of anxiety